It's just so hard to imagine one child with a devastating health issue, and now they have two.
A Fargo family with 2 children in and out of the hospital for close to 3 years needs to move to another state to get the medical treatment that they need. Now the community is rallying to help them get there. Valley News Team's Rose Itzkovitz has the story.
You know, when you decide to have a baby, you don't envision anything like this. You know, you don't picture cancer and you don't picture organs on the outside of bodies.
Mom of 4, Christina Reynolds, has a new baby who's been living in Sanford's intensive care unit ever since he was born 4 months ago.
Caden was 8 weeks early, born with an omphalocele, so his internal organs grew in a sac outside of his body. He also was born with pulmonary hypertension, so he's got high blood pressure in his lungs.
But Reynolds isn't new to the hospital life.
Their older son was dealing with a cancer diagnosis. So they already knew Jake had cancer.
Maybe almost 3 years ago now, we found out that he had what's called a desmoid tumor, and it's extremely rare, about 2 in a million.
Reynolds' older son, Jacob, in addition to dealing with the pain all these years, may not lose his life from the tumor.
But we are, potentially looking at a loss of limb situation.
If there's a way to get them to the right people, whether that's in Denver or in Boston or wherever, that's the goal, right? We just want them to be better.
That's Sue Ann Chase. She and other members of the Fargo community are raising funds for the family to seek treatments in Denver. So far, the parents will only bring baby Caden, who needs the immediate medical attention there. For now, Jacob will stay in Grand Forks with his dad and stepmom and will commute back and forth to continue treatments in Fargo.
We all work together as a parenting team and make decisions together. And so we really want to keep our family together as much as possible.
That's why Reynolds hopes Jacob and the rest of the family will all end up in Denver soon.
There's a fantastic place in Colorado that their expertise is in dealing with rare tumors in the extremities. So our plan is to get him down there and see if maybe they can help him out with that as well.
But it won't be easy.
That's expensive. It's time consuming. It's hard to leave a community that you love and that loves you, and I just want to help them with everything that I can.
And Reynolds says that love they've received from the Fargo community has helped them through the tough times.
And literally just taking it day by day and sometimes hour by hour, and drawing strength from our family and our friends and all the people who've come alongside of us and encouraged us.
In Fargo, Rose Itzkovitz, Valley News Live.
To find a link to the family's donation page, head on over to our website and click on this story. Coming up after weather, new details emerge in what's being called a murder-suicide in Fergus Falls. Plus, some students at Concordia College aren't happy with a conservative commentator invited to speak on campus, what they're doing to prevent him from coming in just a few moments. But first, Justin, fairly cool night, but otherwise pretty quiet. How does the rest of our evening look?
Yeah, thank you, Christine, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, it's a cool night out there, seasonably cool. Nowhere near where we were this morning. We were in the single digits. Here's a live look outside. The Valley News Live Storm Team Skycam Network shot in Fargo. Mostly cloudy skies as of right now. We are currently at 26 degrees in Fargo, 28 Jamestown, 26 Devil's Lake, 22 Thief River Falls, lower to mid-20s into Lakes Country. We're still keeping a wind mainly from the west. We're seeing more of a northerly component. Wind speeds not that bad, 5 to 15 miles per hour across the region. That is producing a wind chill, though. We have a wind chill of 11 at Thief River Falls, 15 at Fergus Falls, and 18 out toward the Jamestown area. Now let's take a look at the satellite loop. Now we are seeing mainly cloudy skies, maybe a few breaks in the clouds, especially into the southern valley into northwestern Minnesota. Most of us staying dry right now as the snow showers have basically dissipated since the 6 o'clock news. Now we were definitely in the cool air for this morning. We had a warm front make its way through. High pressure well off to our west is in charge, and that's giving us a west or northwesterly flow, but it is a warm flow, and that combined with the clouds is going to keep us mild as we go through the overnight. Low temperatures in Minnesota in the teens and into the low to mid 20s as you make your way across North Dakota. We're going to stay mainly cloudy and dry, and a chance of a snow shower, especially into our Minnesota counties as we go through the day tomorrow, but most of us are staying dry. Into the Fargo area, mainly cloudy skies. Temperatures staying into the mid to upper 20s overnight with a high of 29 for the day tomorrow and a chance of some snow showers in northwestern Minnesota. They'll be in the low to mid 20s. Everybody else mid 20s to near 30 as we go through the day on Friday. Then for Saturday, another cold start, partly cloudy skies and rising temperatures as we go through the day with high temperatures getting into the upper 20s to near 30 degrees with the warmest air happening as we go through evening. And then as we go through the day on Sunday, 36, very warm out there, mostly cloudy with some snow showers possible mainly into the morning on Monday. Monday, another warm day, low 30s. Falling temperatures near 20 on Tuesday, partly cloudy, near 30 on Wednesday. Another chance of some snow showers, and back to near 20 on Thursday with mostly cloudy skies.
It's interesting you say warm day in the 30s. It's all relative now, isn't it?
I guess so. We're at 1 degree today. Our normal high is about 25.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, you learn something new every day. Thanks, Justin. Well, the Ramsey County Medical Examiner's Office has identified 2 people found dead in a Fergus Falls apartment late last night. 41-year-old Sarah Cheshire died of homicide due to gunshot wounds, and 41-year-old Ryan Cheshire died of suicide due to a gunshot wound. The 2 were recently divorced. It happened at 1447 Patterson Loop in an apartment complex. We spoke with one of the neighbors, and this is what he saw.
I heard this guy yell out, "Call 911," and he sounded like he was in a panic or in shock, and I heard the girl talking on the phone with the dispatcher.
The Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension is assisting with this investigation. And the results of a vote are expected shortly from Concordia College in Moorhead. The student government is deciding on a sticky situation after some students spoke out against a speaker invited to the school. More than 100 students are at a student senate meeting reconsidering whether to maintain funding for a speech on campus by Ben Shapiro. He's a conservative commentator and Daily Wire editor-in-chief. The Young Americans for Freedom Foundation posted a letter to all students at Concordia on its Twitter account, saying tonight's meeting would take another look at the more than $7,000 of students' funds to bring Shapiro to campus.
But I believe, even as a Democrat, as a liberal school, wanting to put open-minded students into the world should be open to this view. And I believe that we should allow him to come. But I don't think that Ben Shapiro promotes this because he just promotes a lot of hate, and I don't think that that is really challenging our views, and that's just hearing how he feels about people of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah, we're going to continue to update this story, so be sure to stick with us on valleynewslive.com and Valley News Live 10 at 10. Well, winds turned out to be less fierce than originally expected on today, but firefighters in California still have their work cut out for them. That's because wildfires are ravaging parts of the state, and the first death has been now reported. The burned body of a woman was found next to her overturned car. CBS's Danielle Nottingham reports from Ventura, California.
Crews battling the lilac fire in San Diego County are trying to minimize the damage, but this house is already gone.
We have crews surrounded this whole area. We're going to make a stand and we're going to protect all the ones that we can.
Officials are advising residents in Lilac's path to be prepared to move.
We have 20 structures that have been destroyed. I expect that number will go higher.
Several major wildfires are consuming parts of California. Flames tore through trees and brush on the 101 in Ventura County, shutting down stretches of one of the busiest freeways in America.
It's definitely looks like Armageddon went off here.
Mike Stevens has been hosing down his home, trying to protect it.
All the ambers that are coming across from the hills, it's only obvious that it could start, no problem.
But firefighters are advising residents not to take matters into their own hands.
Stuff that burns is not good for you, so just the whole thing is just not safe.
The Thomas Fire has creeped into Los Padres National Forest.
A lot of vegetation out here, and the flames are going to continue to burn.
An estimated 1 million people are affected by the poor air conditions.
I think safety is always a big challenge, and then the wind-driven fire. It's tremendous.
Officials warn heavy winds and dry air could prolong conditions here for weeks. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News, Ventura, California.
And a new wildfire that sparked in the San Diego area is also causing problems for firefighting crews already stretched thin by long hours and expanding need. And 2 students and 1 suspect are dead after a shooting inside a New Mexico high school this morning. Police say officers responded to the shooting at Aztec High School just after 8 a.m. Mountain Time. They say when officers entered the building, they found the 2 deceased students along with the remains of the shooter. No other injuries were reported, and investigators have not identified the names of the shooter or the victims. It's unknown if the shooter was a student or had any connection to the 2 victims. State officials called the shooting a heinous act and asked for the community and state to stand united with one another. The FBI is on scene to investigate the shooting. Governor Mark Dayton will be selecting a replacement for Democratic Senator Al Franken, who is resigning. This is after multiple women accused him of sexual misconduct. Franken's announcement came a day after 35 of his fellow Democratic senators demanded he step down. Franken said he was shocked and upset after 8 women in recent weeks accused him of unwanted touching, groping and forcible kisses, mostly before he was elected in 2009. He flatly denied some of those allegations and said he remembers other encounters differently. Franken blasted what he views as Republican hypocrisy on sexual misconduct. Franken said that arguing his case before the Senate Ethics Committee would make it impossible to be an effective senator. A former South Carolina police officer who shot and killed an unarmed black man will be spending up to 20 years in prison. This is after a landmark sentencing today. A federal judge handed down the sentencing for Michael Slager in a Charleston courtroom. Slager shot and killed Walter Scott as he fled a traffic stop in 2015. You're taking a look at that video right now. The shooting was captured on cell phone video, which then later became a key piece of evidence for the prosecution. A state trial ended in a mistrial. Slager pleaded guilty in May to a federal charge of violating Scott's civil rights by shooting him with no justification, which then closed both the state and federal cases. Well,